Hello geometry students, this is the final video for geometry level 2 and we are introducing algebraic topic, complete the square method. Okay, so how do you factor? The first example is x squared plus 18x plus 81. It will be x plus 9 times x plus 9, and if you simplify this you get x plus 9 to the second power. Okay. The next example, example number 2, it's x squared minus 12x plus 36, and if you list all the factors of 36, you will get, I don't want this color, you will get x plus 6 times x plus 6, okay, and you can write it, oh I'm sorry, it's x minus 6, because negative 6 times negative 6 is 36, and negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12. So the final answer should be x minus 6 to the second power. Okay, so just a little warm-up, things from Algebra 1 that most likely you forgot. Now, in class today on Google Meet, we talked about b divided by 2 to the second power. So this is very important, okay? And the reason I designed the lesson this way, so in class you paid attention to b over 2, okay, because that's not easy to explain, you know, for a teacher, especially without being in the classroom. So how is 18 and 81, how they are related? Okay, so if you do 18 divided by 2 to the second power, you actually get 81. Okay, because 18 over 2 is 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, what about this example? Negative 12 and 36. Again, how are they related? If you do negative 12 divided by 2 to the second power, you actually get 36. Not negative 36, okay? Negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. So in a few minutes, you will see something b squared divided by b over 2 to the second power. And last case, okay, 22. 22 divided by 2 to the second power, it's 11 to the second power, which is 121. Okay, so that's the warm-up to our lesson today. So, what do I have to add to each expression to make it perfect? Okay, word perfect. So x squared plus 10x. Okay, so what do you think you have to add? What do you think the value of c would be? And again, in class today, you know, we had students participating, so some of you probably would say the answer out loud right now, but again, we are not in class, we are at home right now. Okay, so think about this. What's half of 10? 5. What's 5 to the second? 25. So you would add 25. Okay, take a minute, 30 seconds, and try this example. X squared minus 14x plus what will make this perfect? Okay, and the answer is 49. Why 49? Negative 7. A negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 7 is 49. And the last example for today, not for today, for the warm-up, x squared plus 28 plus x squared plus 28x plus what? Okay, so think about 28 divided by 2 to the second. 28 divided by 2 is 14 to the second, and 14 times 14, I think it's 256, but let me check it so I don't make this mistake. 14 squared, 196. Oh, see, I would make a mistake, so that will be plus 196. So, officially, we are start a new method called complete the square. Alright, so very excited to do that. It's a weird time because this is actually our last lesson and we are almost done with the school year, okay? But you should still be excited about this because I am. So, how to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. Step 1, get all variables on one side. So you do plus 13 plus 13. Okay, so your new equation would be x squared plus 8x, I will leave some space, is equal to 13. Step 2, the quadratic term ax squared must have a coefficient of 1, and it is 1 because it's 1x squared, in order to complete the square. In Algebra 2 and Precalculus, you will talk about a not being 1, and this is doable, but again it's more challenging, so that's why you have to understand this for Algebra 2, so you are ready for the course. So please take this seriously again, okay? I know I told you this 3 or 4 times today, but take this seriously and try to learn this, okay? So my next step will be step 3. Complete the square, okay? Using the quadratic and the linear terms. Take half of the linear term. Okay, so what does this mean? B in our example was equal to 8. Okay, take half of 8 and square it. So you will get 8 over 2 to the second power, which is 4 to the second power, which is 16. Okay, so this is equal to 16. I can cross this out, and 16. Okay, now step B, add this square to both sides. Okay, so the equation from step 2 was x squared plus 8x space equals 13. So now I'm adding I'm adding 16 to both sides. So I get x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 13 plus 16, which is 29. And do me a favor, take a look at x squared plus 8x plus 16. Do we agree that I can factor it and write it x plus 4 to the second power is equal to 29? Now, what is the inverse operation of x squared? You take square root. So square root, but be careful, it's plus or minus. So I get x plus 4 equals plus or minus square root of 29. Okay, in order to get x by itself, subtract 4. So your final answer will be x equals -4 plus or minus square root of 29. Okay, so this is the one example for the lesson. We'll do 2 more. I have about 7 minutes, so the video is less than 15, so I can post it on YouTube. Okay, so if you see this example, x squared minus 20x minus 21, maybe you should do is pause the video, try it, okay, and then watch me doing this. So pause the video, take about 5 minutes and do it. Okay, so step number 1, add 21 to both sides. So you get x squared minus 20x is equal to 21. Okay, then I'm gonna add b squared, b over 2 to the second power to both sides. So this will be negative 20 divided by 2 to the second power. Negative 20 over 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 times negative 10 is 100. So I'm gonna add 100 to both sides. So do plus 100 plus 100. So you get x squared minus 20x plus 100 is equal to 121. And this example is easier, you'll see why in a few minutes. How do I factor x squared minus 20x plus 100? Again, this is a special case, so you could factor x minus 10 to the second okay, is equal to 121. Okay, square root, plus or minus, so you get x minus 10 equals plus or minus square root of 121, but we are very lucky because 121 is a perfect square, so I get plus or minus 11. So how do you solve this equation? X minus 10 equals plus or minus 11. You do plus 10 to both sides, so you get x equals 10 plus or minus 11. Okay, so the two answers would be x plus 11, which is 21, or 10 minus 11, which is negative 1. That was easier. So the two answers are 21 and negative 1. Okay? Last example, example number 2. A squared plus 10a minus 13 equals 0. Add 13 to both sides, so you get a squared plus 10a is equal to 13. Okay, now do me a favor on the side, do b over 2 to the second power. So do we agree 10 divided by 2 to the second power will be 5 to the second, which is 25. So I'm going to add 25 to both sides. So I get a squared plus 10a plus 25 is equal to 38. Because 25 plus 13 is 38. Okay, now can we factor this? Yes, we can. Okay, it's special case again. This would be a plus 5 to the second power equals 38. Square root of both sides, square root of both sides. So you get a plus 5 is equal to plus or minus square root of 38. 38 is not a, it's not a special, you can factor 38. 38 would be 16, 32, 14. You cannot do this, okay? 38 divided by 4, let me just check it. 9.5, okay? So your final answer will be minus 5, so a is equal to negative 5 plus or minus square root of 38. So this method is called complete the square. I will post this online, and I will be online on Friday. So for students who really want to understand this, please be there and I will answer your questions. I want to say goodbye to you, even though in class I told you bye, but this is my last official video. No, it's kind of weird not to say goodbye to you in person in a classroom, because usually, you know, I see the faces, but today it's you know, the teaching is so different because of the coronavirus. Okay, bye bye.